Welcome to Grammar Trails. In this segment, we're going to look at the 7 coordinating conjunctions and the 5th comma rule. Coordinating conjunctions connect ideas of equal emphasis. So remember, when you use a coordinating conjunction, you're telling your reader that the ideas on either side are equally important. There are 7 coordinating conjunctions. Be sure to memorize all 7. You can do this easily by thinking of the acronym FANBOYS. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Now let's take a look at rule number 5. Rule number 5 deals with items in a list, and it says if you have 3 or more items in a list that you are going to separate each item using a comma. Now let's look at it visually. If we have an item, another item, followed by a coordinating conjunction, and then a third item, you're going to need to place a comma between the first 2 items. Let's look at some examples to help clarify what this means. People had once gathered berries, nuts, and fruits from the earth. Can you identify the 3 items in this list? Yes, berries, nuts, and fruits. Now identify the coordinating conjunction. Good, it is and. Because we have a list of 3 or more items, we need to separate the first 2 items with a comma. Berries, nuts will get a comma, and fruits. Notice we do not need a comma before the coordinating conjunction, as nuts and fruits are actually separated by the word and. Let's look at another example. The sun provided the heat, the light, and the food for the people to eat. Do we have a list here in this sentence? Yes. The heat, that's 1. The light, that's 2. The food, that's 3. Notice that the last item in the list, it always follows the coordinating conjunction. So what do we need to do? According to the rule, if we have 3 or more items in a list, the first 2 items, or the items before the coordinating conjunction, must be separated by commas. The sun provided the heat, the light, and the food for the people to eat. What do? We separate the first 2 items with a comma. So, rule number 5 states, if we have an item, followed by another item, followed by a coordinating conjunction, followed by another item, we must separate the items before the coordinating conjunction with a comma. This is the rule for all lists that you make in writing. Let's look at some more examples. The people were not building houses, using tools, wearing clothes, or tending their flocks. Let's identify the coordinated conjunction first this time. Or, very good. Now let's identify the items in the list. Building houses, using tools, wearing clothes, or tending their flocks. Now notice this time there are 4 items in the list. According to the rule, all items before the coordinating conjunction must be separated by a comma. So building houses, comma, using tools, comma, wearing clothes or tending their flocks. Again, we do not need to place a comma after the word clothes because the coordinating conjunction acts as our separator. Let's look at our final example. The sun sent his children from the heavens to teach the people how to weave, make tools, raise cattle, and build great villages. Let's identify the coordinating conjunction first. And, very good. Now how many items come before the coordinating conjunction? To weave, make tools, raise cattle. There are 3. Where do we put the commas? To weave, comma, make tools, comma, raise cattle and build great villages. How come we don't put a comma before and or after cattle? Very good, because in a list, the coordinating conjunction naturally separates the last two items. So let's review rule number 5 one more time. It states if we have an item followed by another item followed by a coordinating conjunction followed by another item, we must place a comma between the items that fall before the coordinating conjunction, like this. So if there's 5 items, you're going to place a comma between all 5. If there's 8 items, you're going to place a comma between all 8. But remember, in the list, we do not need to place a comma before the coordinating conjunction. And finally, there are 7 coordinating conjunctions. The easiest way to remember the 7 coordinating conjunctions is to consider the acronym FANBOYS. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Thank you for watching this segment of Grammar Trails.